So, Emily, let's start with the
Mhm.
Vancouver Titans. What do we know about what is happening with that team?
I mean, this started when people noticed that like Hoxall and a few other players had removed the Vancouver Titans uh like title from their bio. And then today we've already seen a few announcements. I don't think those will be the last announcements that we see from the Titans. For me, like from what I know about the situation, I think that this is unfortunately an internal dispute that may not have happened if we hadn't had a global pandemic, to be quite honest. And it's unfortunate because it's like yet another thing on top of everything else that's going on in the league. But this isn't like, oh, they're retiring and leaving for Valorant, right? Like this has absolutely nothing to do with that. It doesn't even necessarily have to do with some of the other problems that the league is having. From what I know, it's actually just an internal dispute between the ex Runaway roster and the Vancouver Titans. And for me personally, like it's just really sad. Like this is an insanely good team that was beloved, right? Like they were like Runaway was just such an amazing story when they were coming up. Like what Flowervin and Runner built with this team, but it is amazing. This roster came onto the scene and everyone was kind of like, we don't know how well they'll do in the Overwatch League, and they blanked everyone for the first almost two stages last year. They made it to finals where I mean they lost, but like this is an insane roster. It's sad to see this happen. It's sad to see how it's happening, because it just seems like it's an irreconcilable difference, and I don't know how many players are going to be leaving exactly. I don't know who's going to be leaving. I just think that there will be more announcements today, and it's just like for me as someone who I'm not going to say I was as big of a Runaway fan as other people, but watching this team was incredibly fun and their story was incredibly special. And it's very sad to see it not only end, but end like this.
So we have JJANU and paJion, who are two official announcements from the Vancouver Titans. Certainly based on what's out there, you might surmise that more official announcements will be coming. Tyler, how crazy is it that when you look back at the grand finals in season 2, you had the Vancouver Titans on one side, Sinatra and the San Francisco Shock on the other side, and now you have Sinatra leaving Overwatch entirely, retiring from competitive Overwatch to go play Valorant, signing with Sentinels, and now you have at least two, possibly more, maybe all of the Vancouver Titans roster gone.
I mean, you're also forgetting that the season 1 champions, London Spitfire, sold everyone off and rebuilt, with a much cheaper roster around South Korean prospects.
Yes.
So, not a lot of consistency in Overwatch League, and I think that's gonna be a big discussion point as we go through this next hour of the issues that kind of plague the league. There's consistency is not one of the strong suits of the Overwatch League. Outside of GOATs. I mean, GOATs was the most consistent thing about Overwatch League. Everything else has been quite inconsistent.
That's probably a challenge. If that's the most consistent thing, maybe not the best thing.